My journey as a hobbyist, maker, and innovator has shaped my life. More and more, making an impact in a field you are passionate about is readily possible. I'd like to share the ingredients anyone can use to make anything. The first ingredient is the confidence to try. Making things is full of failure and disappointment, but the rewards far outweigh the challenges. My first hobby was taking things apart, figuring out how they worked, and putting them back together. An old drill, a blender, a desk lamp, really anything I could get my hands on. If I could take it apart by prying open seals and undoing screws, I would do it. And when that didn't work, a hammer usually did the trick. When I was 9, I learned an important lesson: the importance of caution while experimenting. I was taking apart and reassembling an old clock radio, and upon plugging it into a wall, a massive bang and a spark of blue light shot across the room, nearly frying me and our electrical system. Despite this setback, making things gave me the confidence to build new things and improve upon existing ones. Watching how it's made entertained me for hours as a young kid. But the most important thing I learned from taking things apart was I gained the confidence to make. Finding something that truly inspires you, moves you, is the next ingredient in making. When I was 5, by random chance one Saturday afternoon, my parents took me to a BattleBots competition at RansomEverglades. It was there that I met Will Bales, former RansomEverglades student and now a national BattleBots competitor. He was fighting his robot Fluffy against another robot in a heated match. So heated, in fact, that Fluffy caught on fire. I remember jumping up and down at the spectacle, and I knew then and there that robotics would be in my future. Finding a community and instructional content is the third key ingredient in making. For me, the internet provided countless YouTube videos and articles. I would watch every BattleBots video again and again, trying to understand how the robots worked and come up with ideas of my own. Additionally, reading every article I could find helped me learn the finer points of engineering. But the value of a community goes beyond instructional content. Making things can be full of failure and disappointment. Without a group of mentors and collaborators, whether virtually or in person, it's difficult to find the confidence to continue moving, and finding solutions is much more of a challenge. Now, passion's great, community's great, but it's really hard to make anything without the tools. These days, any tool you could imagine, short of commercial machines, is available or very accessible at places like public libraries or makerspaces. Everything from laser cutters to hand tools to 3D printers can be accessed. For example, at public libraries these days, you can rent 3D printers for just a few dollars. Now, the fifth and most important ingredient is human support and mentors. Over my time as a maker and hobbyist, I've been fortunate to have incredible mentors in everything from engineering to mindset. My first robotics mentors were Bill and Nola Garcia. They ran a makerspace called Starbot because they were passionate about bettering the community. This was a place where you could go to collaborate with other makers, take courses, and use shared tools. It was at Starbot, at a summer camp that summer, where Bill and Nola taught my friend and I the fundamentals of engineering, everything from design thinking to manufacturing to collaboration. And later that year, we applied those skills to place 22nd at Vex Worlds. A few years later, my childhood interest in BattleBots reemerged, and I acquired the support of Mr. Robert Dubard, robotics teacher at RansomEverglades. It was with his help and his trusty 20-year-old tools that I built my first BattleBot, Orange Juicer, with nothing but hand tools and parts off Amazon. On the day of the competition, everything was going great. All systems were go, passed all the checks, I was ready to compete. Orange Juicer was destroyed in its first match. But I kept on working, and a few months later, I came back with a much more professional BattleBot, Orange Juicer 2. Orange Juicer 2 incorporated all of the new skills I had learned, and the next competition showed the results of my efforts, with Orange Juicer 2 winning most of its matches. but in the end, it was destroyed by the same robot as before. It was at this moment where all the mentorship showed its true value. Instead of being discouraged and disappointed by the loss, I asked, what if? Something that Bill and Nola had always taught. Coupled with the skills I'd learned from Mr. Dubard, I had the confidence and the tools I needed to continue making and innovating. So how do you apply all this knowledge? After my years spent working with 3D printers, tools, CAD, and design work, I've been able to create my own product, a dental implant matching device. The idea for this product stemmed from a data science class, where my teacher was listing possibilities for our final project. The idea of a dental device inspired me, though, because of the way it connected code, mechanics, and electronics. Now, while writing this talk, one of the questions they posed was how I researched, and I realized I tackled this project the same way I've tackled every other one. I looked something up. One search led to another, and after a rabbit hole of searches, I'd uncovered every facet of the problem. With this information, I realized a solution could be pretty simple. All it would take was a pen-shaped device with a camera, a few lenses, and some lights. When coupled with a bit of code and connected to a computer, it could take and send images. Now, despite it being such a simple device, it would help save dentists and patients money on an influential procedure, and in underserved communities, help minimize job inequality. This is just my story. Everyone here in the audience has the ingredients they need to start learning and innovating. In fact, millions of young people around the world are emerging as makers, innovators, and hobbyists. Join with the people who share your passions and go make something.